Hey guys, Trey here for another Summoners War YouTube video, and today we're going to talk about whether you should save or summon scrolls immediately in Summoners War. I personally have always been a fan of immediately summoning scrolls as soon as you get them, because you might get something you really need to progress, or a skill up, or something that can help you in the game, as opposed to saving, because I didn't really see the point of it. I saw it as a really misusing time in the game, because if you need a Lushen in order to build a good dungeons team, then you should go ahead and summon and try to get one instead of saving up 200 scrolls and pulling them all at once. Not to mention that you're saving up a bunch of mana to do that all at once that you could be using for runes or, anything else you might need. But, anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of each summoning and saving. So, first of all, we're going to go with my previous thought of summoning first. The pros of summoning first would be, obviously, getting something you need early on, and going ahead and having that, and skill ups, and all kinds of use for that stuff. Another thing that you should consider when summoning first is that, you get fodder for 6-starring things that you might need, and you get duplicate monsters that you can build more than one of. That falls under something you need. But anyway, as for summoning the scrolls immediately, you can also come up with something, interesting. It gives you excitement to keep playing the game, and the more you play the game, obviously the better runes and monsters you're going to have. So there's excitement there to keep you playing, and that's really most of the pros for summoning. The pros for saving, however, are you're saving mana that you can use it for runes in the meantime, and whenever you get ready to summon, you just gotta start saving then. It doesn't really take a whole long time to accumulate a bunch of mana as long as you're doing your farming every day. If you're free to play 90 crystals a day, that I don't know how much mana that translates to, but I've been farming 90 crystals a day for about 4 days now without using any, and I'm already up to like 3 million. So there's that to consider. The other pros of saving are it gives you something to look forward to. Each scroll you get in dungeons, in shops, in everything, that adds into the pile of scrolls you're going to be able to summon, and it gives you a reason to keep playing the game. Another thing you might want to consider of saving is you're going to have your runes spread out among less monsters, so it's going to end up you're going to have more concentrated runes on monsters, so you'll have less monsters built, but you will have better runes on those monsters, better sets, better stats, etc. So, I apologize for my hair, it's kind of going everywhere due to the fan, but, anyway, that's the pros of summoning and saving. So, now I'll get into when you should do which one. Again, this is my personal opinion, so, take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, there's different situations for different people, but I'm throwing my big blanket statement over this, so here it is. If you are under level 50, summon every single scroll you have as soon as you get it, because unless you're level 1 buying multiple packs a day, you're not going to really have the monsters that you really need unless you're just that lucky, which I don't think anybody is. Or if you joined at an opportune time with a good event that gives you a bunch of mystical scrolls and choose your own nat floor, etc. So, if you're under level 50, immediately summon every single scroll you get, because it could give you something very useful. If you are level 50 but don't have good teams for your dungeons, immediately summon every scroll you get. If you are, you would consider yourself beginner, early game, middle game, summon every single scroll you get immediately. And Now, for the majority of people probably watching this video, people who would consider themselves to have a well-built account and people who are further along in the game than, you know, early game, mid game, which I still consider myself to be kind of early game because I haven't delved that deeply into Arena or RTA yet. But anyway, for the people who would consider themselves past mid or early game, if there is a Nat 4 that you're looking for, a specific elemental Nat 4, Lushan, Draco, Tyron, anything like that. If you're looking for a specific elemental Nat 4 or even a specific elemental Nat 3, summon every single scroll you get as soon as you get it. Because the chances, like if you need it for RTA, like I need a Draco, you need to summon immediately so you can get it. In my opinion, that's the same as summoning every single scroll with hopes of getting a Lushan at early levels. So no matter what, you're going to want to summon every single scroll as soon as you get it if there's an elemental Nat 4 that you, in your mind, you know you need. So that, and as for L&D, if there's an elemental Nat 3 you know you need, immediately summon it. That's all there is to it. If you need a Manchura, Basalt, Miho, Zinc, Silver, I don't know why anybody would need a Silver, but if you need any of those monsters, you are going to want to immediately summon. So that's the cases where you would want to immediately summon. Now, obviously, if you're looking for an elemental Nat 5 or light and dark Nat 4 or Nat 5, you're going to want to save because you're not going to be able, the chances of you getting, you know, one of those is very low. 0.5 on elemental Nat 5, then divide by 3 for element and divide by however many Nat 5s there are at that point in the game. That's your chances of getting it. 0.05. Yeah. So 0.005, excuse me. 0.5% chance divided by 3 divided by the number of Nat 5s in the game. So your chances of getting a specific Nat 5 are that. L&D Nat 4s are pretty low too, I think. I'm not sure of the exact rates. I can check really quick. But in the event that you want a specific L&D Nat 4, you're going to, you know, take whatever rate it is, divide it by 2, divide by the number of potential L&D Nat 4s you can pull. I really want a frigate. I'm not getting it. I'm gonna save scrolls, and I'm probably not gonna get it. It doesn't appear that we're going to be able to look at that because the internet connection is really bad right now. But in general, if you know some elemental Nat 4 or an L&D Nat 3 you need, summon immediately. Otherwise, if you need a specific elemental Nat 5, if you need a specific L&D Nat 4, anything like that, you're going to want to save because you really need to hold on to the scrolls and work on saving your runes and compiling all of your good runes onto the monsters you use the most. So, in my opinion, go after what you're looking for if it's a elemental Nat 4 or L&D Nat 3. Otherwise, save your scrolls, hold on to them, and save them for, you know, make a landmark for yourself. Or, you know, if a new monster comes out that you think you need, like, I don't know, say a new monster comes out that's really good for dungeons and you really want it, you know, you need it for a team you want to build, pull your scrolls. It's, you know, you don't have to save them and hit 200 so that you can be guaranteed a Nat 5, because that's not how it works anyway, but you know, save your scrolls until you see something you want or you recognize a Nat 4 that you need. Like, you know, me, I want Draco. But really, that's all there is to it. If you have something you want, uh, that is feasible to get, use your scrolls immediately. If you want something that's not feasible to get, save your scrolls. If you have stuff, like if you have an avalanche of monsters and you really need runes, don't use your scrolls until you get those monsters runed up. It's, it's not, I wouldn't say it's common sense, but you gotta think about, you may farm giants for 20 years and get one usable rune, or you might go into dragons and pull 5 usable runes on day 1 of farming DB10. And that obviously changes when you're going to want to use your scrolls. But if you can't rune the monsters you have, then you don't need to be using scrolls, which I've been bad about that because I wanted to see the lightning too. But in the end, really, it's gonna be habit. You got to break the habit, but save up for an occasion. If you want to summon on your birthday, summon on your birthday. If you want to summon on Christmas, summon on Christmas. If you want to summon on the new update whenever the new monsters come out, do it. If you want to summon during an event that gives you extra points in the event for summoning monsters, do it. It all depends on your current situation in the game and the current situation of events going on around you, whether they're in the game or outside the game. I want to brag a little bit. If we look at my profile, maybe give it a minute. It's gonna take a minute. But if we look at my profile, I want to show you guys something really cool. Means kind of a lot to me. It's the first time I've done it across 2 accounts. I mean, I haven't done it on 2 accounts, but I mean, I've had 2 accounts and this is the first time I've done it, but maybe if it'll ever load. Alright, cool. So, profile record. I finally broke 30 seconds on Giants, and I finally broke a minute on Necro. So we are all sub-minute teams, and Giants is sub 30 seconds, which is awesome. Not to mention that Giants uses all Nat 4s and below. I'm using Orang, Lushan, Lynn, Crow, and Lauren. And those are my 5. And, haven't decided which one's better for leader skill, whether it's Lushan or Lynn, Lushan or Orang yet, but I get consistent between 28 seconds and 45 seconds, and as far as I know, so far, it's 100% success rate, which is awesome, and I will be working on dragons next, and hopefully, I mean, I'm sorry about this, but anyway, I'll just leave it on my profile for the remainder of the video. I got my bird. I finished Fighter 1 in RTA. I'm proud of myself for that. I got my cute bird, which is awesome. And, I'm at 98 transmog stones, so we're going to get transmog soon. And really, that's all I have to say during this video. In conclusion, I'm going to repeat myself one last time. If it's an elemental nat 4 you want, or an L&D nat 3 you want, summon your scrolls. If it's summoning stone rotation with a nat 5 you want, summon your stones, your summoning stones. And if there's a L&D nat 3 you want, elemental nat 4 you want, summon immediately. Nat 5s, L&D nat 4s, L&D nat 5s, save your scrolls, because more than likely you're not going to get them off of single scrolls. But despite what it looks like, 200 scrolls doesn't guarantee you a elemental nat 5. Nothing can guarantee you a nat 4. You can summon 1,000,000 scrolls and get a nat 3 because there's no pity system in Summoner's War, as far as we as players know. But maybe maybe you could summon 1,000,000 scrolls and get all nat 5s. That'd be awesome to see. I mean, you couldn't do it because of the monster storage, but really just, if you need a monster, summon. If you don't, then don't. Don't summon for the lightning. Summon to make your team better and to better yourself at the game. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. I've thought a lot about this, and I finally wanted to put a my 2 cents in, put a nail in the coffin. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.